Welcome back to Gothic Homemaking. This is the Bordello Bones table lamp. You may have seen it in a viral post on the Pinterest or the Instagrams or the Facebooks or the somewhere in the World Wide Webs. I made this thing in episode 9 of Gothic Homemaking, an episode called A Bone to Pick. Way back when the episodes were half an hour long, as I foolishly believed I was making a television show. In any case, it has been statistically proven that most people will not watch more than the first 10 minutes of any YouTube video. So I'm guessing probably many of you never saw this DIY project. What about you, Orville? Did you see this one or did you miss it? Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. That's why I've started this new series called DIY Flashbacks, where I extract the DIY segment from those old Gothic Homemaking episodes, and I feature them here for those of you who just want to learn how to make these elegantly macabre items. And in today's DIY Flashback, we're going to learn how to make the Bordello Bones table lamp. Well, it all started with a trip to Home Depot where they had a large lamp selection. I found this one, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get that crystal ball out of the middle. I hope this is going to work. Next, I loosened the nut on the bottom of the lamp, and I cut the electrical cord. Doing this allowed me to take the entire lamp apart. Then I reassembled the lamp. I grabbed one of my resin skulls, and with a paddle bit, I made a hole just slightly larger than the stem of the lamp. And then I simply threaded the skull onto the lamp. At that point, I reassembled the rest of the lamp and reinserted the electrical cable, pulling it out through the bottom and putting it in place. And now I had managed to put the skull in the middle of this lamp. I found this cream scallop dome lampshade at lampsplus.com. However, this off-white floral pattern was not gonna do, so it was time to redo this lamp. To that end, I created a template by placing a piece of craft paper on top of the lamp and tracing the outline. I then cut out that piece of paper, and with 3M Super 77, I sprayed it onto a piece of cardboard. I cut that out, and then I had a nice hard template. Now, I knew that this lamp was going to give off a warm glow, but I knew how to fix that. I went to the set shop in New York City, and I selected some purple gels. I was going to use a little trick I learned from my filmmaking days. I placed the template on the purple gels and cut them out. Then I sprayed the gels as well as the lampshade with 3M Super 77. When they were both dry, I stuck them together. Next, I cut away this atrocious fringe. Now, for the new fabric for the lampshade, I went to Spoonflower.com and I found this amazing print that had skulls and tentacles. There is no question I asked myself more than, can this be blacker? And unfortunately, with print-on-demand fabric places, sometimes the blacks just aren't as black as you want them to be. Luckily, I'd also ordered this Spoonflower book of samples, so I was able to find the fabrics in which the blacks printed the most dark. I attached a swatch of the fabric to the lampshade. I sprayed Super 77 on the lampshade and then also on the fabric, and when they were dry, I stuck them together. Then I simply cut off the excess with a scissor. I was careful to cover the parts that were finished to make sure I didn't get spray glue on them. And then the lampshade was refinished in this amazing skull pattern. I went to M&J Trimming, and from their monstrous selection of trim, I found this beautiful fringe, as well as this wonderful ribbon for the ribs. With my industrial glue gun, I glued the ribbon onto the bones of the lampshade. And then I attached the fringe. Next, I attached these tassels with some cut tacks, and I went to Beads of Paradise in New York City and I bought hand-cut amethysts. And then I glued the amethysts onto the cut tacks with some super glue. After the fact, I felt that the lamp was too shiny and new looking, so I got some Ebony Rub N Buff and I covered the lamp in that. Once that was dry, I dry brushed pewter and silver Rub N Buff over the black. Next, I painted the base of the lamp black to match the shade. Now remember those raccoon penis bones? I drilled holes in the bottom of the skull, and then with hot glue, I glued the raccoon penis bones into the skull to give it a tentacle look. Next, I glued the lower jaw of the skull to the base of the lamp, and I added a couple of raccoon penis bones to that as well. And here you have it, the finished Bordello Bones table lamp. And naturally, I got a licensed electrician to splice the electrical cord back together because I don't know how to do that and I didn't want to electrocute myself. Dark, God, shut that wrinkly little screech hole. It's gonna be lights out for you. I hope you enjoyed this DIY project. There's many more DIY flashbacks coming your way right here on Gothic Homemaking.